Talk Fast 5 is brought to you in association with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group. The A&M Consumer and Retail Group is a management consulting firm that tackles the most complex challenges and advances its clients, people, and communities toward their maximum potential. CRG brings the experience, tools, and operator-like pragmatism to help retailers and consumer products companies be on the right side of disruption. And Avalara. Avalara makes tax compliance faster, easier, more accurate, and more reliable for 30,000 plus business and government customers in over 90 countries. Avalara leverages 1,200 plus signed partner integrations to power tax calculations, document management, tax return filing, and tax content access. Visit avalara.com to improve your compliance journey. And Mirakl. Mirakl is the global leader in platform business innovation for e-commerce. Companies like Macy's, Nordstrom, and Kroger use Mirakl to build disruptive growth and profitability through marketplace, dropship, and retail media. For more, visit Mirakl.com. That's Mirakl.com. And Ownit AI. Ownit AI helps the world's leading retailers advance their e-commerce shopping experience with AI. To learn more, visit Ownit.co. And finally, Ocampo Capital. Ocampo Capital is a venture capital firm founded by retail executives with the aim of helping early-stage consumer businesses succeed through investment and operational support. Learn more at ocampocapital.com. Hello, you are listening to OmniTalk's Retail Fast 5, ranked in the top 10% of all podcasts globally and currently ranked in the top 100 of all business podcasts on Apple Podcasts. The Retail Fast 5 is the podcast that we hope makes you feel a little smarter, but most importantly, a little happier each week too. And the Fast 5 is just one of the many great podcasts you can find from OmniTalk Retail's podcast network, alongside our Retail Daily Minute, which brings you a curated selection of the most important retail headlines every morning, and our Retail Technology Spotlight series, which goes deep each week on the latest technology trends in retail. Today is August 28th, 2024. I'm your host, Dan Mezzenga.
And I think I'm still Chris Walton.
We think so. Here we are, though, once again. I'm in New York. Chris is back home in Minneapolis, and we are going to discuss all the top headlines from the past week that are making waves in the world of omnichannel retailing. Chris, you are just getting off of the first day of school. How did it go? How did drop-off go this morning? It can always be mixed motions during that time.
Yeah. Kids are in 5th and 4th grade now, so they're getting older, so we're getting used to it. But yeah, I'm coming in hot to this podcast. I literally just dropped the kids off. The bus pickup time is 7:03 for my kids. That is so freaking early. I cannot wait until they get into junior high and the start date or the start time's a little bit later because man, it's brutal.
It doesn't get any better. Like,
I know, it probably doesn't.
Then you get into middle school and they're like, we don't want to get up. I don't want to get up for school.
I'm driving them around everywhere until they get their driver's license and everything. Yeah, but hey, I said this morning, I said, hey, I got the kids to the bus. Mission accomplished. I got to pat myself on the back just for getting that done.
You do.
I know, right? You do.
You get an extra shot in your coffee this morning, I think. Because
why are
you you knocked it out of the park. Good job, Dad.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. So why are you in New York? I'm curious. Tell our listeners, why are you in New York?
I am in New York because I was taking part in Scandit's Empower event yesterday, which is like a big event they throw for a lot of their customers. But let me tell you, I've gotten to spend some time with some incredible people. Welcome to the new listeners that we have who were at Empower, from the likes of Walmart, Crate and Barrel, American Eagle, U-Haul. We have some people from U-Haul, which was so fascinating because really how they're thinking about, their retail in-store experience. And we talked about everything that you can imagine. Party City, there's people from, everything that you could be talking about where people are making investments right now in retail and retail technology. And the team at Scandit and at Apple were so wonderful to host us. So it's been a riot.
So, Anne, were you hobnobbing? Is that the correct term? Were you hobnobbing?
I would say I was hobnobbing maybe a little bit. It's very hot here, so we were kind of it was a little sweaty. So
it's been hot here too in Minnesota, really hot, way too hot. Actually.
Oh my God, we're talking about the weather. We need to diverge. I feel like this is the Minnesota thing. We got to get off of it.
We need to move on to the headlines, Anne. And you know what's funny? You haul, I haul, and we all haul for ice cream, which is going to come up later on in today's headline. headlines. But before we get to
I would eat a
today's,
U-Haul full of ice cream for
I
sure.
would too. Wouldn't you? Yeah, they should do that. They should, I just read a story that all the ice cream trucks, there's far fewer than there ever were back in
Yeah.
the day when we were kids. So yeah, maybe we rebrand a U-Haul truck as an ice cream truck, put a little freezer in the back of it. All right, but today's headlines are brought to you in partnership with Manifest, the Who's Who conference in supply chain and logistics. The conference is taking place February 10th through the 12th in Las Vegas. Prices go up next month, so register now to join Ann and me to save $200 on your all-access Manifest Vegas attendee pass by heading to manifestvegas.com/save with OmniTalk. That's manifestvegas.com/save with OmniTalk. You have to do the save when you're typing it in. All right, today we've got news on Chick-fil-A opening a new elevated store with not one, not two, not three, but 4 drive-through lanes. And
Oh boy.
my God, 4 drive-through lanes. That's insane. Amazon allowing FBA sellers to ditch taking physical returns. I'm excited to talk about that one personally. The ongoing subscription wars between Amazon and Walmart, prompted by Amazon's new grocery delivery subscription and Walmart Plus's new Burger King perk. And we finished today, as I mentioned before, with ice cream and a look at Unilever's unique use of AI inside of the freezer. But we begin today with more marketplace news out of Walmart. And take it away, please.
All right. Headline number 1, Chris. Walmart has opened hosted U.S. fulfillment to Chinese goods. According to Chain Storage, Walmart has updated its Walmart cross-border ocean shipping solution to provide seaborne transportation from select ports of loading in China to hosted Walmart fulfillment services, or WFS, facilities in the U.S. To use cross-border solutions, the sellers must be a WFS seller that sources and manufactures goods in China and ship enough inbound inventory to fill a full shipping container. After determining that they are eligible for the service, sellers can then submit their information for review on the cross-border imports page in the Walmart Seller Center. After an enrollment is submitted, reviewed, and approved, sellers can begin booking inbound shipments, selecting shipments, and then sending inventory. Chris, there's a lot going on here, but big story. How much do you think opening up hosted U.S. fulfillment to Chinese goods will augment Walmart's marketplace?
Oh, wow. I'm going to get really scientific and sort of alliterative here too, Anne, to answer this question. Sort of alliterative. You got
I
to give
don't
me.
think there's any other way. I think
I
you
don't think.
have to get really scientific here. We're
I
talking
think I do
about
too.
shipping
And
capacity.
right, because we're talking about shipping. Yes, there's so much metrics in shipping, Anne. But I think I would say a whole heap. That's how important this is.
Okay.
And I'd say there's 2 points I bring up to here. First, essentially Walmart is taking a page out of Amazon's book, and they're making it easier for their marketplace sellers to access the U.S. market. That's part and parcel what's happening here. Notice how I use parcel too.
Oh
Second,
boy.
second, we're on a roll already. I love this show. Second, I believe this is only step 1 of more to come. Walmart is very smart. And the next wave, which this isn't, it's very important to call out that this is not that according to this press release. But the next wave of this will be enabling direct-to-door shipping similar to Shein and Temu to Walmart's customers' actual front doors. Again, the announcement isn't that yet, but when you start talking about that, and given Walmart, the largest retailer in the U.S. with the largest supplier network probably in the world, giving that supplier network direct access to U.S. customers through Walmart's marketplace means customers win at the end of the day because prices will be even lower on products that they can get from Walmart. And there's a whole host of things that come into play here with how it can augment Walmart's e-commerce business by giving more options for when things are out of stock in the US. But I won't even go into that now because at the end of the day, the consumers win, save money, live better. 100%. Walmart's on its brand promise. Well done again to Walmart. I love this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't have too much to add here, but to me, this move, Chris, and I found a movie reference here because I wanted to appeal to you about really how impactful I think this is going to be for Walmart.
Oh my God, this might be my most proudest moment in the history of Omni Talks Fast Five.
I wrote it and I was like, I gotta find, this is a perfect movie quote. But in my mind here with this move, Walmart is basically Daniel Day-Lewis telling Amazon and Temu, for that matter, and Shein, I drink your milkshake.
Nice. Nicely done. Such
I
a
think
good
this is
movie.
such
Oh
a
my
like
God.
for all the points that you explained and where we both think, like you mentioned, this is going to eventually go. I mean, I think this is one of the biggest moves that Walmart's made to really start to compete with Amazon when it comes to like logistics and really offering the same kind of goods in their marketplace that we've been able to get and know and trust from Amazon for a long time. The second part about it too is I think, we're gonna have a session coming up here with Flexport's Ryan Peterson, but just talking
Mhm.
about these shipping containers that are going across the ocean and they're not completely full. Like sometimes they're not even half full, he was saying. And I think that when you look at what Walmart's doing, like you have to make sure that the containers can be shipped fully. Like that's going to help
There's a lot of
things be
cost
more
efficiencies too.
sustainable. It's going to
Yeah.
be cost efficient. And I think that really helps them, as them being Walmart, really start to accomplish goals that, like you said, are really going to provide the end consumer with so much more benefit and a more affordable product. So I think this is a lot bigger than maybe some people might have realized when they just looked at the headline.
So we are 2 thumbs up on headline
Yeah.
number 1 for
Yeah.
Walmart, Ann. All
Yeah.
right, let's go to headline number 2. Chick-fil-A has opened its first restaurant with a quote elevated drive-through. According
In
to
so many
US
ways, right? In so many
Ri
ways.
Oh, yeah.
Elevated.
So
Yes.
elevated, and yes, I can't wait to talk about this. According to USA Today, the drive-through only restaurant features 4 drive-through lanes and an elevated kitchen with a quote unique meal transport system described by the company as a quote sophisticated conveyor belt that streamlines food delivery by quote quickly moving the meal from elevated kitchen above to a team member on the ground below, end quote. The kitchen is also double the size of a typical Chick-fil-A restaurant kitchen. There is no dining room or dine-in services at this restaurant, but the 4-lane drive-through has the capacity to support, quote, 2 to 3 times more vehicles than a standard Chick-fil-A restaurant drive-through. And what do you think of the
Yes.
idea of Chick-fil-A opening restaurant locations without a dining room?
You set this one up for me because you know
Oh,
that
I
I love it.
100% did.
You know that I think this is great. It's the same reason I lauded
Do
Starbucks
you?
last week and got a bunch of
Wow.
backlash from you and some of the A&M team. But I don't think you need space to eat inside. I think that this is going to do exactly what Chick-fil-A sets out to do. They are going to be your go-to because they are the most convenient option. They are like defining quick serve with quality and a quick experience through in and out of that drive through, which I think it can only be improved. Like there's always lines outside of there. I think this is a brilliant move. And I'm excited to see like if they continue to roll this out. They're like one of the most innovative QSR retailers out there. And I think that it's
They
going to
are.
be interesting to see like if this works, first of all, and then how quickly we start to see the Chick-fil-A in our neighborhood that starting to exhibit this. But you go to Chick-fil-A more than I do. So what are your thoughts? Like, are
Yeah,
you
yeah. My
excited
my
about
fast
this?
food habits are gonna come up quite often on this
They
podcast.
are, they
Um,
are. Yeah.
so wait, so you're saying you would want more Chick-fil-A's like this throughout the country?
For
That's what you're saying?
100%, 100%. I think,
100%.
yeah, you get the
Okay.
flywheel customer because,
Okay.
I'm downloading the app. I'm giving you information about me. I'm placing orders ahead of time. Because I'm getting things quicker and the quality is still there. I'm going to keep coming back to you because I know I'm going to get in and out fast, better than even like a McDonald's or Burger King or some of the other places that are my other options. And I think that just continues this flywheel of like good customer engagement for Chick-fil-A consumers and me as a consumer getting a better overall experience.
Wow. Okay. See, I still disagree on this one because I think it takes Chick-fil-A out of the customer relationship. So I think you have to tread carefully here, similar to like
Mm.
we talked last week in Starbucks, because I'm of the opinion that your in-store experience, particularly for a quick serve restaurant, is what cements your brand in me as a consumer. Um, and hopefully, and that's why I have the feeling about Chick-fil-A that I do. That's why I have the feeling about In-N-Out the way that I do. And I think it's interesting that In-N-Out hasn't gone in this direction at all. Um, so I'm I hope Chick-fil-A is being smart about this and not thinking they're going to jump all in, and they're just looking at this as a smart deployment in a few situations where they need the capacity, quite
Yeah.
honestly. Because if you go the other way, I do worry that, you start to face the same issues that Starbucks has in the long run in terms of the operations. And the other part I don't like about this is the whole concept, the elevated concept,
Hmm.
just smells of mass production. And the other thing I thought about too is why are drive-through lanes bad? people seem like they're willing to wait in them. I waited 45 minutes in the In-N-Out drive-through in California a couple of weeks ago,
Oh,
multiple times in the week, and I didn't even sniff at it. And provided you have a good cycle time, like if you're getting the cars through every 2 minutes, it feels like it's moving fast. It's fine. I'm willing to wait. And so like the other thing too is like I ask you this, Ian, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Which restaurant are you more likely to frequent more often, right? The Chick-fil-A that's the small one near your house, or the mega 4-lane drive-through with 100 cars going through it that's going to be kind of overwhelming. I mean, I'm kind of when you
I
put you when
disagree.
you disagree, so
I think it comes,
you'd
no,
go to
I
the
think it,
mega trafficked Chick-fil-A automated process retrieval system.
I
That's
don't,
what you do versus
I
your
don't
local one. See, I
I
think I'd
don't
go the
think
other
that
way.
way. I don't think that
All
way. I
right.
think
Yeah.
that
Okay.
one question that I have for you is like, how wonderful was this experience that you had the last time that you sat inside a Chick-fil-A, a Starbucks? Like,
It was
it's
really
not that.
good. Chick-fil-A's experience is really good. Their
I
in-store
know that
experience is really good.
the ordering, I'm talking about like you keep talking about the ambiance and the atmosphere and like it's this experience to be eating and dining inside of these places. Like I don't think it's possible. I think that you look at the quality, you have to look at the convenience first and the quality of the product. And like Chick-fil-A stands by that quality is great. People are willing to wait in line, but if they're across the street from each other and I have the option of going through the 4-lane drive-through or the single lane drive-through because it's the people are nicer. If I've got hungry kids and I need to get somewhere, it's about how fast I can get out of there. So I think it's just catering to those two different types of customers, and we'll see. Like maybe it's not. I think you bring up a good point. Like, does it need to be the 4-lane drive-throughs at every single place? Probably not. It's a huge capex investment for Chick-fil-A that's probably not going to work everywhere, but in these high volume areas, I do think that I'm more likely to go to Chick-fil-A than an In-N-Out. I'm not willing to sit in the line for 45 minutes. Maybe on vacation or something that's
Uh-huh.
different, but like I'm not willing to sit in that line anymore. And I think that people aren't willing to sit in the Starbucks line either. And that's where the problems are really coming from. It's not about like needing to have the experience inside of a Starbucks.
That's interesting. There's interesting 2 points to me. One is managing the production flow operations of your food, getting that in the customer is very different than managing the service operations of how you interact with your customer. And
Right.
so the service operations of a Chick-fil-A in this environment will change
Mm-hmm.
100%. And what
Mm-hmm.
they're known for in terms of good service and human to human interactions is going to morph because now you're dealing with interactions of my drive-through order is wrong. My mobile pickup order is wrong. Like, who do I talk to for that? How do I get help with that? All achievable, but more complicated than traditionally done at Chick-fil-A. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's an issue. The other part about Starbucks too, just to go back to that, I was in a Starbucks on Friday.
Yeah.
I met somebody there. There was nowhere to sit. The place was dirty. Every table was unclean. It was disgusting.
Exactly my point. You don't need that experience. Just go get your coffee. Starbucks is the go-to for coffee. You want to go sit down and have an experience. I think that's when you lean on your local coffee shop.
No, see, but I don't want to because Starbucks is everywhere. It's easy to be like, and that's why so many business meetings happen at Starbucks. It's like, hey, let's meet at the Starbucks. Like that's why. And so
Yeah.
like that's gonna be, I'm more reticent now to go get that extra coffee at my meeting at Starbucks, which I gotta think there's a lot of extra coffees being bought from Starbucks meetings throughout the years. But I don't know.
I don't
Time will
know.
tell.
There's a
And
hell of a lot of people that were coming in yesterday with Starbucks cups who had the option of free coffee or all the places, but they're like, I
yeah.
like my Starbucks. It's the same everywhere, whether I'm in Singapore, I'm in New York, and I can count on
Yeah.
this coffee and it's going to be exactly what I want. Like, I really think it comes down to the product. But
I think the other point that we agree on fundamentally is like,
yeah,
okay, it's probably the right thing to do because you went to a pickup only store the other
yep,
day too in New York and
yep,
you loved it.
yeah,
The right approach is probably there are some pickup only options. Just how many of them do you need? How
for
big do they
sure.
need to be to
For sure.
to pump everything in, and then make the other ones still what the Starbucks you need that has the
Yes.
experience that you want, right?
Yes, and that's the reserve. Like go to the reserve and sit
Well,
down and then they care about what the in-store experience looks like. I think it's just
yeah.
it gets to be a disaster. Like counting on the in-store experience. Chick-fil-A might be an anomaly, but like when you go into a McDonald's or like Chipotle, like no one's cleaning those tables. It's just better to go and take my food and get out of there. So Anyway, I sound like an old cranky lady. Let's go.
Well, but service is why the margins are, why the prices are higher at some of these restaurants too. Like
Mhm.
that plays into it. So like,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, let's keep
Oh
rolling.
my
This
God,
will
we
be
could
an
debate
endless
this
debate. I can't
forever.
wait to watch it because all these companies are going,
Yeah.
high on the hog into this
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah. All right, Chris, let's go to headline number 3. Amazon is allowing sellers to ditch physical returns. According to Supply Chain Dive, Amazon has launched a program allowing sellers using its fulfillment services to issue product refunds without customers returning the item. Fulfillment by Amazon Returnless Solutions will help sellers avoid returns related fees by cutting out the physical reverse logistics process and letting customers keep the items instead. Sellers and customers tapping into the returnless resolutions have to be in good standing with Amazon, and only customers without a quote history of abuse can be offered a returnless resolution. Some products are also ineligible for the program, including dangerous goods, heavy and bulky items, and those with an average sales price above $75. Chris, you mentioned in the intro that you are pretty excited about this, but are you buying or selling Amazon allowing its sellers not to take back physical returns?
I'm selling this hard. I
Yeah.
hate this. I hate this.
Yeah.
This is one of
Yeah.
my least favorite headlines in the entire history of the
Yeah.
show.
Tell us why.
Because you know who loses, Anne? Mother freaking Earth. Mother
Oh
Earth
God, yeah.
loses
Yeah.
on this one. I
Among
can't.
others, but
Yeah,
yes.
I can't think of anything more unsustainable. And this also feels like a blatant play to appeal to the sellers that Amazon wants to leverage via their Shein and Temu copycat model that they've just announced in the last few months. And this is what has me worried on it. I've been getting more and more worried about this in the past couple of weeks, and this headline just cemented it for me. Because here you have a company as big as Amazon, and instead of
Mhm.
a company as big and powerful as Amazon, which makes sustainability claims all the time, by the way, trying to figure out something that works. Instead, they're saying, we just want to make money. We just want to make money. And
Yep.
there's more money to be made by sticking customers with their returns. And therefore, more products, probably even more products ending up in landfills. That's what's going to happen here. And so, as long as this fast fashion loophole continues to exist and policies like this start to come into play, um, everyone's going to lose ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's why I hate this initiative. I don't know. Do you agree, or do you think I'm being too strong and too harsh on
No,
this
I
one?
completely agree. That's the first
You
thing I
do.
thought of. Like the first thing I thought of was like, is this really creating less waste? I mean, I think about the things like there's a reason I'm returning the product. And in most cases for me, when I've been returning stuff, it's like the quality is worse than I expected, or
Right.
like it arrives broken or something like it's just it's ending up in like I'm putting it in the garbage. I'm not
Right.
doing something like I'm not donating it. And to me, it seems like shouldn't Amazon with their, logistics processes that they've worked out for years, like shouldn't they have the most efficient logistics here possible to dispose of these products or to like figure out the best way to get these products either back into the sales cycle, which there's a lot of sellers. If you look at this article from Supply Chain Dive, like you have so many people commenting who are sellers that are not the Temu and Shein types who are
Yep.
like, this totally screws us. Like, we don't want the
Yep.
people to keep the product. Like,
Yep.
Amazon, you should be able to, because of how quickly you can get products to customers, get them back to us so that we can put them back into our sales cycle in the within a couple of weeks so that we can actually get this product to somebody that wants it. So I think it's real bad news here. And I think it's going to end poorly for Amazon. I think we might end up seeing them kind of reverse course on this.
Yeah, 100%. There's a whole host of implications for this too. Like,
Hmm.
number one, Amazon should be leading here. They shouldn't be
Yes,
doing this. They should be setting an example. And the other implication too is like, what does this mean for Walmart as they try? We talked about that in the first headline. How does Walmart approach this? Does Walmart take a
totally.
similar like screw the earth, screw sustainability approach, or do they come up with something creative and
They have
innovative?
stores. They have
Right,
stores though. Like that's
right.
the key thing here
It,
is like Walmart can do this better because they have stores and they're going to like leverage that. They can bulk ship something when they have like all of these things can be improved because of the 4,000 plus network of stores that Walmart
Yeah.
has.
Does Walmart start to iterate on this, right? To in a way that differentiates them as a brand like they've been doing so well, which we're going to talk about in the next headline too. And then the other point too is like, when does the government just shut this loophole down too? Because like this if we keep putting the insulin in the arm of this, like this is not good. This is not going to be good for anyone because this is
Yeah.
what's going to happen too. So
Yeah.
all right, anyway, headline 4. The subscription wars between Amazon and Walmart are continuing to heat up, or maybe they are also just cooling down. And I don't know. I'm curious what your take is on this one. But according to Retail Dive, Amazon launched an annual grocery subscription plan last week. The new plan costs $99 per year and offers unlimited delivery on grocery orders over $35 from Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods markets, and other local grocers and specialty stores listed on Amazon.com. Who knew? And not to be outdone, according to a Business Wire press release, Walmart Plus members can get 25% off any Burger King digital order every day and can
Oh
also
my
receive
God.
a free Whopper every 3 months with any purchase. And Walmart obviously wants its Walmart Plus members to have it their way at no additional charge. Can the same be said for Amazon's new grocery subscription service?
Oh my God. I love the Burger King thing so much. Like
Me
I,
too.
I I saw this headline and I was like, this is going in the Fast Five. It's just another way that Walmart knows their customers, number one, knows the busy families that they have who are just trying to make ends meet. And fast food is still, say what you will about it. It's still one of the most affordable ways to feed families. And now you're offering 25% off of that. Like that's huge. I got another. I guess I call this it's still film, but it's not a movie. But I have another reference for you. This was another headline this week. Instead of Omar coming, remember from The Wire?
The Wire,
Walmart
yeah.
coming.
Walmart coming.
Walmart
Nice.
coming.
Nice.
Walmart
Nicely
coming for you,
done.
Amazon. While Amazon's adding more fees onto people. Granted, I know the SNAP discount, like you don't have to have Prime to use SNAP
Yeah.
benefits, but Amazon's just
Still more
adding on
expensive
more
though.
costs for customers and especially
Mhm.
their Prime members. Like you're not adding to the benefits. Walmart just keeps adding and adding and adding it, and still like a lower annual cost for Walmart Plus members with more benefits. So I'm so happy.
Are
Walmart
you? You
coming.
seem really
Yeah.
giddy. You're like giddy like a schoolgirl here. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel the same way you do. I'm gonna thread the line here between high praise and semi rant, I think. But I think the deal is super compelling too. The BK partnership is super compelling because Anne, as we
Yes.
mentioned before, my family is quite the fast food connoisseurs. And I did some back of the envelope math. Okay. And
Okay.
honestly, I go to
Back of the
BK
Whopper
back,
wrapper
back of
math.
the Whopper
Yeah,
wrapper
yeah,
math.
yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah.
what I did. That's very good. Um, we go to BK at least once a week, at least. And so if I just assume a $10 order, which is probably low because I got I
Yeah.
got two kids and
Man,
me
you're
and
doing $10 at fast food. They must be, you guys you're sharing a Whopper. I feel like I can't
right,
get out of there for like more
right.
than $30 these days.
Right. So yeah, so granted, this math is a low estimate, right? And I,
Yeah,
I wanted to do it to keep the back of the envelope math easy. So
for
what's
sure.
25% of $10? Well, it's 250. So that's 250 per week that I'm saving, which adds up to over $100 a year when you get
Yeah.
right down to it. So
Yeah.
that pays for the cost of the Walmart Plus subscription right there. That's
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. And
Yeah.
it's probably more than that, to your point. So, but and then now here's the rant part. The Amazon thing, I just don't get it. Now
Yeah.
I got to spend $250 a year for Prime and grocery delivery from Amazon, which has no storefront, which I don't even know the quality or understand why I'm shopping there. Maybe Whole Foods, but it's just a bridge too far for me.
Yeah.
It really is, and I can't imagine that many people are going to sign up for it, but I don't know, maybe I'll be wrong. And then my last point that I'd make is, who are the specialty grocers and retailers that have hooked up with Amazon on this program? Like, and when you read them, you're like, how desperate and non-strategic can you be with all the
Yeah.
other options out there? You want to help Amazon stand up their grocery delivery business?
Yeah.
What the heck are you thinking? Like, that is absolutely insane to me.
All right, let's go to headline number 5. Unilever is expanding its use of AI image capture to improve ice cream restocking, Chris. According to consumergoods.com. Have we had consumergoods.com on this? I don't
I
know.
don't
It
think
might
so.
be
I
one
think
of
it's the
the
first
first
time. Shout
time.
out to
Okay.
consumergoods.com.
Okay. According to consumergoods.com, Unilever is equipping 350,000 freezers or 30% of its top selling ice cream cabinets in priority markets with the technology over the next 2 years. So far, it has completed installation in 100,000 freezers. The software takes photos of the inside of the freezer and automatically delivers the images to the cloud, where AI can determine the stock level and generate orders for distributors for low inventory items. Since the initial implementation in 2023, the company has seen incremental growth that ranges from 8% in Turkey to 12% in the US and up to 30% in the good old country of Denmark. Chris, this is the A&M CRG put you on the spot question too. Why
Oh,
not?
wow, I
It's about
forgot
ice
about that. We
cream.
haven't had it yet.
We
That's
haven't.
great. Okay.
A&M wants to know, Chris, from using shelf scanning robots, phones, drones, and now Unilever's freezer tech, the use cases for knowing real time on shelf availability and stock levels have been compelling. Why do you suppose that CPGs are leading this technology wave in general versus retailers? Awesome question. That's a great question.
It is a really good question, and there's a lot of good reasoning for it, honestly, and that's why I
Yeah.
freaking love this too. I think, for those listeners that may not be aware, there's many product categories, particularly in a grocery store, that the retailer controls the inventory flow for, and also categories where the CPG company controls the inventory flow for, and those are generally called direct store delivery categories or DSD categories, and ice cream is one of them. And
Also, like
so
Lay's, like, right? Like chips,
potato chips,
Pepsi.
soft
Yeah. Yeah.
drinks. Yep. 100 frozen pizza, which I was going to talk
Oh,
about in a
yeah.
second too. Yeah. So like this type of thing makes so much sense for those categories. And the fact that Unilever is publicly leaning into this
Mhm.
makes me think that this is proof point number one. And it's soon going to be followed on by shelf. Now you can't do it in freezers, but you can do it with shelf cameras from like a Captana, which we've had on our
Mhm.
show before. And you can do it in those categories like you just mentioned. And so, and then also like even the freezer installations, you can do it in frozen pizza, like I was just
Yep.
alluding to, because the results already appear to be there. Unilever's not, from my memory, being the buyer of frozen food at one point in time, like 20 years ago almost. I don't believe Unilever was as deep in the frozen pizza category as it is in ice cream. It's the big leader in ice cream.
Mhm.
But the frozen pizza category companies will get on board with this and see what Unilever's talking about, and they'll start to do it too. Because the great thing about it, Ann, is, and for these categories, the retail doesn't really have to be involved. A
Yeah.
third-party service can come in, they can install the equipment, they can hook it up to the CPG's inventory planning and their sales restocking team, and they can make it all happen completely, exogenous to the retailer's operations. And therefore, the retailer and the CPG win with this. And
Yes.
whenever you can create a one where both sides win in the discussion, that's where you're going to have innovation. And so that's what's happening here. 100%. It's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, I think to go further on that, like the other thing, especially at Empower this week, we're hearing so much from the CPGs who were in attendance. Like they've had to blindly rely on retailers for so long, or like that one person going out and taking a picture of the display to like, or to the of the shelves to make sure like they're getting enough
Yeah.
space in the freezers, or that they're getting the like that the product's out on the shelf. Like they've had to kind of trust in that and rely on data that's old, lagging data that isn't consistently updated in real time. And so this is going to give the CPGs that picture to really hold the retail partners accountable, and then to help, continue to make sure that they're getting more products sold through. It sounds like it makes sense all around. It's a better, more sustainable, better opportunities for CPGs and retailers to be on the same page about what kind of products they have in their shelves, and making sure that they're meeting the agreements that they both have.
Yeah, I think the last point I would emphasize there too, and you're right about the sustainability side. Like it should, in theory, make the routing of your DSD drivers more efficient. They should be going to the right stores with the right products more often, and that should have cost efficiencies in the long run. So yeah, that's a great point.
All right, Chris, let's go to the lightning round. Question number one for you is that Oasis is rumored to be getting back together after a 15-year hiatus. Which Oasis song are you most excited to hear them play?
Oh wow, I actually might go see them.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I mean, I never go to concerts, but I actually might try to get tickets for them if they come to the States, particularly if they come to Minneapolis. Who knows if they will? This one's gonna surprise you, Anne.
Okay.
My answer is actually "Don't Look Back in Anger." I love that song. I think it's a great
Oh,
song.
that's so good. So good. Yeah, I think that's part of one of the intros in one of the articles. Like, so Sally can wait and everybody else has
Hmm.
been waiting or something like that.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. We
we're
have
tired
been.
of
That's
waiting.
true. That's
Sally
true.
can wait on her own. Yeah, right. What's yours though? I'm curious.
Oh,
Puts you on the spot.
yeah. I don't know. I guess I think Wonderwall is probably just like
Wonderwall. Yeah, that was my
that you
second
just,
choice.
I think you like want to hear that song again 15 years later, because that to me
Yeah.
is like the true test of like, can you still hang? Can you
Yeah.
still hang? I don't know. We'll see, Nolan.
It makes me nostalgic for the 90s, quite honestly.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. You
All
and
right.
every like Gen Xer or Gen
Right.
Zer out there.
Right. All right. Olympic triathletes reportedly guzzling cans of Coke to ward off bacteria from the Seine. I think I said that right. Seine in Paris. What is one at-home remedy you have taken in your life of which you are not proud?
Uh The first thing that I could think of was I don't even think this is like a home remedy
I have
officially,
no
but
idea
like
where this is going.
when I was in high school and we were drinking, there was somebody that said if you ate an entire loaf of bread, you would sober up quickly. Let's just say I didn't make it through maybe a third of that loaf of bread before I was in so much pain that I gave up on that
Oh,
theory. So that would probably be the one home remedy that did not work for me.
yeah.
Not
So
at all.
do you eat it dry? Did you toast it? Like how did you
No,
consume
I
this loaf
just
of
like
bread?
we like went to
Like
Walmart and
Wonder
got
Bread?
loaves of, yes, of like white
Oh,
bread and just started like eating them because we were discovered. We'll just say my girlfriends and I were discovered, and we
yeah.
had to come home, and we were not ready to come home because we had been at a bonfire in the middle of the woods for a long time. So,
Word to the wise for all those TikTok and Instagram remedies that claim to do everything for you to make your life better, I guess, right, Ann? Oh my
oh
God.
God, never, never. Okay, Chris, question 3. ThredUp is quietly launching a peer-to-peer marketplace. What item in your closet do you think would net the most value on the resale retail market?
Ooh, I actually did some research on this last night, Ann.
Mm.
And I started looking at the price of the Jordans that I've procured over the last few years, and the answer was pretty
Okay,
easy. It's actually my Ivory Craft Jordan 3s that I
that's the
wore
most
at Shop
valuable.
Talk in March. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the most valuable pair. And also probably the one in the best condition if I was to resell them, which is
How
also
much
probably
how much could you get for them? Did you see?
I was seeing they were going for like 250 online. So like
Okay. Okay.
$30 appreciation, so to speak,
Okay.
from what I probably paid for them. So not much, but
That's a whole
you know,
BK
it's a little bit.
drive-through
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
order. Yeah,
We
you can
should
do
put
that.
everything in BK dollars from now on. All right, last one. Michael Bay is reportedly working on a new Skibbity toilet movie. Yes, that is true, folks. What does the word skibbity mean to today's youth?
Oh my God. It's so funny that you brought this up because we just took our boys to a Minnesota Twins game the other night, and somebody in front of us kept saying this. And I was like, so now in our house, we just keep saying skibbity.
Yeah.
And our kids want to murder us. They're so embarrassed. So the
That's a good
closest,
tactic. I should start saying it
oh
more
God, it's so funny.
because
Like
it drives
just
me nuts.
yeah, like, oh, why are you acting all skibbity?
Yeah.
So anyway, I think the closest thing I can think of in like Gen X or millennial terms
Mm.
is skeezy.
Ooh, I
Like,
like what you did
ooh,
there.
like, why are
Yeah.
you acting all
Yeah.
skeezy? So
Yeah.
that's what I think it means to today's youth. I'm
Got it.
sure
So
I'm wrong, and my
that's a
kids are
really
gonna
good
be
lens
embarrassed.
from what you just dropped some huge knowledge on us, Ann. Like that's a good lens from which to look at it. Like what Gen X, Gen whatever, term would you use to compare it to? And then also turning the tables on your kids and just using the word till they get nauseous
There's
of you
a
hearing it as
there's
a
a
parent. That's a great parenting
There's a
technique.
great TikTok video out there of a dad going through a McDonald's drive-through with his kids in the back and using all of their language to order, and they are just reeling. They are so embarrassed, and it's amazing. So I highly encourage you to try that out with your Walmart
Right.
Plus membership when you go through the BK drive-through this week.
Yeah, so therefore TikTok is useful. All right, happy birthday today to Jason Priestley, Jennifer Coolidge, and to the man who never disappoints, especially when he gave us the great Maurice T.T. Rodriguez in Boogie Nights, the always reliable Luis Guzman. And remember, if you can only read or listen to one retail blog in the business, make it OmniTalk, the only retail media outlet run by two former executives from a current top 10 U.S. retailer. Our Fast Five podcast is the quickest, fastest rundown of all the week's top news, and our daily newsletter, the Retail Daily Minute, tells you all you need to know each day to stay on top of your game as a retail executive, and also regularly features special content that is exclusive to us and that Ann and I take great pride in doing just for you. Thanks as always for listening in. Please remember to like and leave us a review wherever you happen to listen to your podcast or on YouTube. You can follow us today by simply going to youtube.com/OmniTalkRetail because watching us in video is the best way to watch and listen to this podcast. So until next week, and on behalf of all of us at OmniTalk, as always, be careful out there.